Hi math lovers, welcome to notes number 24. We are going to complete the square today. Remember, we've been talking about ways to solve quadratic equations. The first way we talked about was factoring the problem, and then we also did the quadratic formula yesterday. So today we're going to talk about completing the square. Before I jump into completing the square and going through all the steps, let's take a look at the problems that I have here for you. Look at number one. I got so excited and I forgot to hit record. I started to write this one down. So I'm going to cover it up and kind of reveal it as a surprise. If you stare at number one, stare at this problem, let it talk to you. What's the first thing you want to do? You probably would take the square root of both sides, right? So I'd have the square root of both sides of this equation. All right, remember to put the plus or minus in there. The left side, if I take the square root of something squared, I'm going to go ahead and have it all by itself. Now we've got this plus 3. Let's move the plus 3 to the other side. It becomes negative 3. And there's my final answer. So completing the square is built upon, let's get a perfect square on the left-hand side, and then we can take the square root of both sides to solve, which is really nice, okay? So let me talk about how you would do number 2 with completing the square, and then we'll formalize it after we go through it, all right? So the first thing I want to look at is I want to make sure my coefficient in front here is 1. I cannot complete the square if my coefficient is not 1. Notice that that's going to be a problem in number 3. All right. The next step is I want to move this 3 over to the other side. So I've got x squared minus 6x. This is going to be the beginning of some perfect square. Okay. So I'm going to put my 3 over here, and then I'm going to put a little blank. I like the little blanks. It just keeps me nice and neat as I go. So the left-hand side is going to be the beginning of a perfect square. And then I've got to fill in this other number. So think to yourself, what would be the number that would go here? What's half of 6? What's half of 6? Half of negative 6. That would be 3. So if I have x minus 3 and I square it, x minus 3 squared, and I FOIL it out, I'm going to square as I go up. This would be 9. So what you're going to do is you go down, you're going to take half the middle term, and you're going to square as you go up, okay? I added 9 to the left side, so I'm going to also add 9 to the right side. So I'm left with 12 on this side. This is kind of sloppy. I'm going to write x minus 3 squared equals 12. Okay. So now you're ready to go ahead. It looks like the problem we had over here. We're going to, both sides are squared, so let's take the square root of both sides, right? Square root. Don't forget your plus or minus on this side. So I've got x minus 3 is equal to plus or minus the square root of 12. Right off the top of your head, you know the square root of 12 is 2 root 3. Bring the 3 over. X is equal to 3 plus or minus 2 root 3. And there's my final answer. Now, if this were not root 3, say it was like the square root of 49, I'd have to go ahead and simplify and then add 7 and subtract 7. But because it's the square root of 3, there's nowhere I can go. Okay, I'm just going to stop right there. All right, so let's keep going. Let's look at number 3. Little bit different problem for us. Coefficient here, this 7 is in the way. All right, before I go ahead and move the 3, I have to divide everything through by 7. So every term here gets divided by 7. Okay, kind of messy. So it's going to be x squared minus 8/7 x plus 3 over 7 equals 0. Okay, now I'm ready to move my constant to the other side. So x squared minus 8/7 x. I'm going to put a blank there because I know I'm going to put a term there later. All right. I'm not going to forget it if I put the little blank in there for myself. I'm going to have to take half the middle term. So as I go down, so it'll be x, half of 8/7 is going to be 4/7. And as I go down, I take half, and as I go up, I square it. So I'm going to take 8/7 and I'm going to square it. That is, actually, you know what, let's write that as 4/7 squared, just so we have it in our minds. And on this side, we'll write it as 16 over 49, okay? So let's go ahead and add over here. That would be negative 21 over 49. Negative 21 plus 16, that's negative 5 over 49. Nice that 49 is in the denominator, is my perfect square. I see it. Oh, it's beautiful. So let's take the square root of both sides Oh, great. Plus or minus the square root of negative 5 over 49. I'm not afraid because I know imaginary numbers are coming and I will embrace them. So this would be x minus 4/7 equals, let's see, the square root of 5 would be, let's see, I plus or minus I root 5. Square root of 47, or 49, sorry, is 7. And then I could bring this on over. So I have x is equal to 4 over 7 plus or minus I root 5 over 7. Okay, so there's my final answer. If you want to get to this point and your directions say that your domain is all reals, you can abandon the problem and say no real solution. All right. The last one here, I'm going to, I'll do it. Divide everything through by 2, so that would be y squared plus y. I'm going to bring the 5 over in one step. You guys will be fine with that. You honors kids can handle it. 5 halves plus blank. Half the middle term. Oh, I know why I picked this one. Because I've got the middle term. Remember, there's a 1 here. Kids will mess up with that. Half the middle term would be half of 1 is 1/2, right? Don't forget your squared. Square 1/2, you get 1/4. Add 1/4 to both sides. So that's going to be 10/4 plus 1/4. That's 11/4, right? Square root both sides. So I'm going to have y plus 1/2 equals plus or minus. Can you see this on the bottom of my paper? There we go. Plus or minus the square root of 11 over 4. I'm going to go a little further. I'm going to say y is equal to negative 1/2 plus or minus the square root of 11. Square root of 4, you guys know, is 2. All right, so there's my answer. Okay, beautiful job. I have up here the directions, and these are also in your textbook as to how to solve using completing the square. But again, I do it in 2 lines at the same time, so I'm a little bit different. I find that the kids don't lose terms as much when they put the little lines in, the little answer blanks, because you know something's got to go there. Have fun with your problem set.